Yeah. Back home, the whole village is walking to the temple right now to feed the ancestors. Out here, I'm making an offering to the concrete, and the city doesn't even know it's a holy day. Holy day, holy day, holy day. Waking up before the heavy metropolitan dawn, knowing that the spirits of the ancestors are drawn. I remember how the monks would chant into the air, folding up the lotus leaves of heaven. Quiet care, today the village stops to let the ancient river bend. But out here it's a Tuesday and the emails never end. I'm carrying the blessing wrapped inside a plastic bag, standing on a platform, watching all the minutes lag. A million people rushing by to catch the morning train, while I'm holding all the history of the muddy rain. Let the deep bass rattle, let the bronze gun play. I'm the only one who knows it is a sacred holy day. The city keeps on running in the metropolitan gray, while I'm burning up an ember for the ghosts who walked away. Yeah, the ghosts who walked away. Yeah. Back home, the whole village is walking to the temple right now to feed the ancestors. Waking up before the heavy metropolitan gray. Waking up before the heavy metropolitan gray. Yeah. Folding up the pedals on the heavy transit line, trying to build an altar that is beautifully mine. They stare at me like I'm a ghost completely out of place, reading all the sorrow that is written on my face. I miss the heavy smoke that used to rise beneath the wood, where everybody understood exactly where we stood. Ain't no need for crying tears, are just another ghost, living in a century where nothing matters most. Let the deep sub-bass carry all the truth and far, just a lonely worshiper looking for a missing star. So let the deep bass rattle, let the horns gon' play. I'm the only one who knows it is a sacred holy day. The city keeps on running in the metropolitan gray, while I'm burning up an ember for the ghosts who walked away. Yeah, the ghosts who walked away. Take a deep breath of the incense and the exhaust, knowing that the holy and the beautiful are lost. It's an isolating sadness when the calendar is dead and you're celebrating centuries entirely in your head. Yeah, let the ashes wash away. Just a resonant gong instrument now. Keeping the day alive, just fading away, just fading away. Yeah. The whole village is walking to the temple right now to feed the ancestors. Back home, the whole village is walking to the temple right now. Yeah, back home. Back home. Yeah. They built these turning boxes and expect us to fit our whole spirits inside them. I have the deep forest running through my veins, but I have to walk on my tiptoes so the city doesn't call me a monster. Yeah. I remember the canopy blocking the heavy sun, where the deep rivers flow and the ancient creatures run. I used to step in the mud and from the heavy, flooded green, walking with a power that was meant to be entirely seen. Now I'm squeezing my shoulders to fit in the subway door, dragging my boots on a perfectly sterile floor. I'm a giant of the woods in the cage of the iron glass, holding my breath every time that the strangers pass. They look at my shadow and see something wild and strange, a heavy anomaly trapped in the modern range. Let the deep bass rattle, let the heavy drum play. I'm an ancient myth, hiding in the metro cause it's ingrained, terrified to leave a footprint on a concrete street, binding up the wildness in my heavy, aching feet. Yeah, binding up the wildness in my aching feet. Yeah, binding up the wildness in my aching feet. Take a deep breath of the concrete and the wire, forgetting the warmth of the dape and the rural fire. It's an isolating sadness when the world is too small a place, and you have to wear a disguise right over your natural face. Take a deep breath of the concrete and the wire, forgetting the warmth of the deep and the rural fire. It's an isolating sadness when the world is too small a place, and you have to wear a disguise right over your natural face. Yeah, let the wild just wash away. Just a heavy booming drum instrument now, just a slow heavy bass. You're ready to be traced, just fade away. They built these tiny boxes and expect us to fit our whole spirits inside them. Yeah, they build these tiny boxes. They build these tiny boxes, expect us to fit our whole spirits. Yeah, they build these tiny boxes. 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 Yeah. They build these tiny boxes. They build these tiny boxes. They expect us to fit our whole spirits. Yeah. They built these tiny boxes. Yeah, there are a million bodies pressed together in this metal box, but everyone is holding their breath so they don't accidentally feel another human being. Walking down a sour path with heavy winter coats, swallowing the isolation rising in our throats. We weave around each other like a complicated dance, terrified to break the bubble, terrified of chance. Someone brushes by my shoulder, quickly stepping back, mumbling an apology to keep up on the track. I remember resting on the wooden, still tip floor, leaning on the neighbors right inside the open door. Now I'm in a metropolis of bodies made of stone, standing in a sea of flesh, but completely to the bone. Let the deep bass rattle, let the heavy fiddle play. The city takes the warmth of human fingertips away. I'm starving for a touch inside the metropolitan gray, a ghost among the millions who just look the other way. Yeah, they just look the other way. Yeah. Take a deep sunbase. Yeah, yeah. She looks at her reflection, imagining her grandmother's rough, loving hands rubbing herbal oil onto her skin to press out the bad wind of a fever here. When she is sick, there is only a plastic bottle of pills and an empty bed. Wrapping up the cotton just to simulate a hand. Living in a perfectly and heavily guarded land. When the fever hits me in the middle of the night, there's nobody to calm my back and make the balance right. I swallow down the plastic and I shiver in the bed, remembering the hands that used to wash my heavy head. They treat another body like an obstacle to clear a million beating hearts. But there is absolutely no one here. Let the deep subways carry all the truth afar. Just an untouching wanderer looking for missing stars. Oh, let the deep bass play, let the heavy feel play. The city takes the warmth of human fingertips away. Yeah, I'm starving for a touch inside the metro cold and gray. A ghost among the millions who doesn't look the other way. Yeah, they just look the other way. Yeah. Take a deep breath for the freezing in the space. Living in a totally untouchable, crowded places, an isolating sadness. When the skin begins to numb, waiting for a heavy healing hand that's never gonna come. Yeah, let the distance wash away. Just the weeping string instrument now. Just a slow, heli drum. Completely out of reach, just fading away. Walking out a sidewalk pack. Yeah. That broadcast the lights so bright you can see them all the way from the provinces. It promised me the whole world. It just didn't tell me it was entirely made of glass. I saw the glow from 100 muddy miles away, a golden promise in the middle of the rural gray. It whispered secrets of a heavily abundant life and seduced me from the water and the carving knife. I left the lotus in the safety of the steel till wood, believing every single lie I thought I understood. Now I'm standing on the corner of an empty street, freezing heavy asphalt underneath my feet. The metropolis just took exactly what it needed most. It left me wandering the avenues of hollow gold. Let the deep bass rattle, let the heavy fiddle play. The skyline stole my youth and threw the rest of it away. I'm a victim of a beautifully glowing toxic scheme, choking on the ashes of a metropolitan dream. Yeah, choking on the ashes of a metropolitan dream. Yeah, they broadcast the lights so bright you can see them all the way from the provinces. She sits on a cold bench, wrapping the traditional crammer around her hands as if seeking comfort from an old friend. She looks at her reflection in the dark train window. The city told her she would be a queen here, but the reflection shows a woman who has been completely drained by the hustle. Wrapping up the cotton just to wipe away the tear, realizing exactly how I ended up right here. I traded in the monsoon for a heavily polluted sky, because the neon knows exactly how to pitch the eye. I thought the towering antennas were reaching hand, but they were just there, the gate upon a promised land. No need for crying tears, just TBI and rule. I'm just another fallen piece of unremembered fruit. Lipid sub-base, carry all the truth afar. Just a titty lover looking for a missing bass rattle. Let the heavy fiddle play. The skylights know my youth and do the rest of it away. I'm a victim of a beautifully glowing toxic scheme, choking on the ashes of a metropolitan dream. Yeah, choking on the ashes of a metropolitan dream. Take a deep breath, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath of the poison in the glare, knowing that the skyline never actually will clear. It's an isolating sadness when the vows are completely fake, and the city is a lover who will only ever take. Yeah, let the illusion wash away. Just a whipping string instrumental, just a slow, heavy drum. Broadcast the lights so bright. Yeah. Yeah. Back home when your heart breaks, the whole village stops to help you carry the sound of it. Out here if you shatter, you just have to make sure you do it quietly so you don't wake the neighbors. Biting on the cotton just to keep the sorrow in, listening to the traffic in the metropolitan. I remember how the women used to gather on the floor, letting all the weeping echo out the open door. We would sing the heavy verses to the open muddy sky, knowing that the earth could handle every single cry. Now I'm hiding in a box made of paper thin walls, terrified somebody's gonna hear me in the halls. Every single tear is like a stone I have to eat, swallowing the devastation down into the street. Let the deep bass rattle, let the heavy fiddle play. The city makes you choke your own humanity away. I'm suffocating quietly inside the urban gray, because a loud and broken heart is strictly in the way. Yeah, it's strictly in the way. Yeah. Back home when your heart breaks, the whole village stops to help you carry the sound of it. Out here, if you shatter, you just have to make sure you do it quietly so you don't wake the neighbors. She turns her face to the black window, letting the single tear fall only when no one is looking. Staring at the window of the heavy midnight train, holding back the vocal of a terrifying pain. I know the ancient poetry that's meant to heal the chest, but the concrete only values the productive and the best. They put a heavy padlock on a breaking of the soul, demanding that you pay to match your portion toll. Ain't no need for screaming, nobody will come around. Angels turn the volume up to cover up the sound. Let the deep sub bass carry all the truth afar, just the saddest morning looking for a missing star. So let the deep bass rattle, let the heavy fiddle play. The city makes you choke your own humanity away. I'm suffocating quietly inside the urban gray, because a loud and broken heart is strictly in the way. Yeah, it's strictly in the way. Take a deep breath of the silence and the fear, knowing that a human sound is never one from here. It's an isolating sadness when you cannot fall apart, and you have to build a cage around a heavy, bleeding heart. melody drops, wash away. Still weeping, still instrument notes, the slow, heavy drums. Heavy drought. Just wanna win the soul. Just fading away. Biting on the cotton, just to keep the sorrow in. Yeah. They clean all the mud off the wood and put it under a spotlight so they can stare at it. They load the things our hands made. They just don't want to look at our hands. Standing on the marble in a perfectly quiet room. Standing on the marble in a perfectly quiet room. Looking through the glass at my mother's heavy loom. They wrote a little paragraph to hang up on the wall, but they didn't write about the rain or how the shadows fall. They took the living history and stripped away the dirt, polishing the timber till they polished out the hurt. I remember how the wooden frame would rattle in the heat, with the heavy flooded water right beneath my bare feet. Now it's just a silent object in the metropolitan space, hanging like a trophy in a beautiful damn place. Let the deep bass rattle, let the single string play. The city took the heartbeat of my ancestors away. I'm a living, breathing woman in a metropolitan dream gray. But they put my very soul behind a glass on display. Yeah, behind a heavy glass on display. Behind a heavy glass on display. Yeah. Wrapping up the cotton just to keep my shoulders warm, standing right in front of the center of the storm. Strangers taking photographs to capture the design, never even knowing that the heritage is mine. I am breathing the same air, I am standing in the light, but they look right past my shadow in the middle of the night. Ain't no need for crying, tears will only go to blast, watching all the tourists in the world get patrons past. Let the deep sub-bass carry all the truth afar, just a living, breathing relic looking for a missing star. So like a deep bass rally, let the single string play. The city took the heartbeat of my ancestors away. I'm a living, breathing woman in a metropolitan gray. But they put my very soul behind the glass on display. Yeah, behind the heavy glass on display. Just the weeping single spring. This drum right now, just a slow, heavy drum. Take a deep breath of the sterile and the white, fighting for existence in the artificial light. It's an isolating sadness when they buy or sell your past, and they build a massive page that was heavenly built to last. Yeah, let the marble wash away. Just the weeping single string instrument now, just a slow, heavy drum, still breathing, just fading away. Yeah. My grandmother told me the silver would protect me from the bad spirits. She didn't know the most dangerous thing out here is just the first of the month. Standing in the neon by the bulletproof glass, watching all my history and heritage past. It accepted carbon that was made in the fire, but all he really sees is a desperate buyer. I remember the day we clashed it around, while the monsoon rain was hitting the ground. They held all the prayers of the stood of bamboo, the heavy silver promise that was beautiful and true. Now it sits on a scale in the Metropolitan haze, being traded for paper just to buy a few days. Let the deep bass rest. Maybe it's you or just me. I'm parting all the pieces of a beautiful broken dream. Just sit, just imagine till the Lord and let it rub. Waiting out my spirit in the freezing and the cold. Yeah, they're waiting out the freezing and the cold. Yeah, so waiting out the freezing and the cold. My grandmother told me the silver would protect me from the bad spirits. She didn't know the most dangerous thing out here is just the first of the month. Breaking down the pavement with my hands in my coat, swallowing the sorrow at the base of my road. The wrist is feeling lighter, but the burden is deep. Sailing all the memories I promised I would keep. They melt down the relics of a muddy dreamland. Pour them in the shades that the breed understands. Ain't no need for bright chairs, won't buy back the praise. I'm erasing my own leadings, just surviving this place. That the deep sub-bass carry all the truth far. Just an empty-handed wanderer looking for a star. So let the deep bass rattle, and let it summer just bleed. I'm boarding all the pieces of a beautifully broken dream. The city's just a magic to the north and let me home. Waiting out my spirit in the freezing and the cold. Yeah, they're waiting out the freezing and the cold. So waiting out the freezing and the freezing and the cold. Take a deep breath, really exhaust and ashamed, knowing that the risk will never feel exactly the same. It's an isolating sadness when the survival is a tax, and the beautiful traditions are the things that fall through the sky. Take a deep breath of the exhaust and the shame. Just the weeping that mysterious inflow. Just the weeping, just the weeping that mysterious inflow. Just the weeping, just the weeping, just the weeping that mysterious inflow. Just the weeping. Just the weeping, just the weeping, just the weeping. As she walks out into the freezing neon night, she struggles to tear the plastic open. The sharp crinkle of the wrapper echoes loudly. She closes her eyes, remembering the soft, warm unspooling of a banana leaf tied with a bamboo string. The steam rising into the heavy monsoon air. A slow, weeping flute melody begins. Back home when we finished the meal, the earth just took the leaf back. Out here, everything you touch is built to last 1,000 years. They treat you like you don't matter at all. Staring at the plastic in the middle of the street, holding on to something that was never meant to be. I remember folding up the lotus in the green, living in a cycle that was beautiful and clean. When the heavy rainy season finally washed it all away, it became the muddy foundation of a brand new day. Now I'm surrounded by a mountain made of cellophane and foil, millions of immortal shells that never see the soil. We package up the sorrow in a sterile little box, living in a grid of artificial heavy locks. Let the deep bass rattle, let the bamboo play. The city just consumes you and throws the rest away. I'm a disposable vessel in the melancholic tools in gray, trapped inside a wrapper that will never just decay. Heavy shell that will never just decay. Staring at the plastic in the middle of the street, holding on to something that was never meant to be. I remember folding up the lotus in the green, living in a cycle that was beautiful and clean. When the heavy shell that will never just decay. Staring at the plastic exhibition, cotton crammed tightly around the chest. The only organic, breathable thing in the mile radius. She feels entirely commodified, just another product on the city shelf. Pulling on the cotton just to feel a natural bed. Walking through a metropolis of the perfectly dead. They wrap the entire skyline in the shiny coated glass, watching all the temporary broken people pass. I miss the way the heavy timber settled in the mud. I miss the way the river knew the rhythm of the blood. Ain't no need for crying tears, just fall upon the chrome. Living in a landfill that we heavily call a home. Let the beeps of bass carry all the truth afar. Just get the scar to steer it, looking for a missing star. So let the deep bass ride on, let the bamboo play. The city just consumes you and grows the rest away. I'm a disposable vessel in the metropolitan too-thin gray, trapped inside a wrapper that will never just decay. Every shell that will never just decay. Take a deep breath of the sterile and the fake, living in a century of everything may take. It's an isolating sadness when the earth is locked below, and you're covered in a plastic that will never let you grow. Take a deep breath of the sterile. Take a deep breath. The weeping bamboo flew down, just a slow, heavy drone, fused up and grown out, just fading away. Just a weeping bamboo flew. Staring at the plastic in the middle of the street. They don't look at me like I'm a person. They look at me like they just spotted something they don't believe in. I'm just trying to walk home, but to them, I'm just another blurry photograph. shadows of the heavy iron bridge, dreaming of the timber in the misty mountain ridge. Every time I step into the metropolitan light, strangers take a photograph and run into the night. They treat me like a monster, like an urban legend tale, leaving only blurry pictures on a digital trail. I wrap up in the heavy coast to hide my massive frame, living in a gridlock that doesn't even know my name. I'm walking on a concrete with a heavy ancient trail, carrying a forest of sorrow in my head. Let the deep bass rattle, let the heavy wood play. I'm a hunted cryptid in the metropolitan gray. They're looking for a Sasquatch in the middle of the street, staring at the heavy muddy boots upon my feet. Yeah, they just stare at the boots upon my feet. The boots upon my feet. Yeah. Squeezing in the corner of a heavily crowded train, curled up in the corner seat, trying to make herself as small as possible. The teenagers across from her whispering and pointing, she closes her eyes, desperately imagining the absolute unbroken silence of the deep Pacific Northwest woods, where the only eyes watching her belong to the owls. Squeezing in the corner of a heavily crowded train, listening to whispers that are driving me insane. I remember walking through the towering ancient pine, where the heavy damp earth was beautifully mined. Out here I'm an animal that everybody fears, carrying the loneliness of 1,000 heavy years. They put me on a screen and they analyze the stride, never understanding all the brokenness inside. They don't even roar and they only want the thrill, honey for a spirit that they only want to kill. Let the deep sub-bass carry all the truth of fire, just an exiled giant looking for a missing star. So let the deep bass rattle, let the heavy one play. I'm a haunted cryptid in the metropolitan gray, looking for a Sasquatch in the middle of the street, staring at the heavy muddy boots upon my feet. Yeah, just stare at the boots upon my feet. Take a deep breath of the flash and the fear, knowing that a wild thing is never welcome here. It's an isolating sadness when you're nothing but a ghost, and the people who surround you are the ones who stare you more. Let the loneliness wash away. Just the echoing of the instrumental, just the slow heavy drum, leaving no trace, just fading away. Yeah, just the echoing, just the echoing wood instrument now, just the echoing wood instrument now. Yeah, they don't look at me like I'm a person. They don't look at me like I'm a person. Yeah. Out here, the world just stops 20 feet in front of your face. My eyes are actually starting to ache because they forgot what it feels like to look at infinity. Looking out the window at a heavy wall of brick, the concrete is towering and terrifying thick. I remember standing in the water in the green, seeing everywhere the pattern forming on the scene. I could watch the heavy monsoon rolling miles across the plain. My vision was as open as the falling of the rain. Now my gaze is shattering against the fire escape, trapped inside a metropolis of geometric shape. Every time I look ahead, the distance is denied. Burying the open world spirit deep inside. Let the deep bass rattle, let the heavy oboe cry. The city built a canyon and it swallowed up the sky. I'm starving for the distance in the metropolitan gray, looking for a tiny sliver a million miles away. Yeah, a tiny sliver a million miles away. Tying up the cotton just to rest my weary sight, hiding from the harshness of the artificial light. The muscles in my eyes are getting heavy, getting weak, forgetting how to find the flat horizon that I seek. They tell you that the towers are a beautiful design, but I just wanna see the place where earth and heaven line. Ain't no need for crying tears, just blur the narrow view. Living in the vertical and suffocating queue. Let the deep sub-bass carry all the truth afar. Just a blind wanderer looking for a missing star. So let the deep bass rattle, let the heavy oboe cry. The city built a canyon and it swallowed up the sky. I'm starting for the distance in the metro cold and gray, looking through a tiny sliver a million miles away. Yeah, a tiny sliver a million miles away. Took a deep breath of the shadow in the stone, scanning the crowd but visually alone. It's an isolating sadness when your vision is contained, and the beauty of the open world is heavily restrained. It's just the weeping reed instrument now, just the slow, heavy drum. Looking out the window, looking out the window. Looking out the window. Looking out the window, looking out the window, looking out the window, looking out the window, looking out the window. Yeah, I spend all day speaking their language just to pay the rent. But when my heart breaks, it still cries out in a dialect that the city doesn't have a dictionary for. Swallowing the vowels that I learned upon the dirt, translating the heavy metropolitan hurt. I have to speak in angles, I have to speak in lines, reading all the foreign and the geometric signs. I remember singing as we harvested the green, words that meant exactly what the muddy water mean. Now I'm bending backwards just to make syntax fit, sitting in a meeting where the artificial sit. Every single sentence feels exactly like a stone, talking to a million people utterly alone. Let the deep bass rattle, let the bamboo play. The city took the language of my ancestors away. I'm choking on a syllable inside the urban gray, with a beautiful and heavy truth I'm not allowed to say. Yeah, the heavy truth I'm not allowed to say. Yeah. just to cover up my tongue, hiding all the lullabies my mother ever sung. If I told them how the heavy river used to bend, they would only hear a noise they couldn't comprehend. They built a whole vocabulary out of iron beams, but they don't have a single word for severed rural dreams. Ain't no need for crying tears or universal rain, but I'm the only one who knows the title of this plane. Let the deep sub bass carry all the truth afar, just an untranslated door, we're looking for a missing star. So let the deep bass rattle, let the bamboo play. The city took the language of my essence steals away. I'm choking on a syllable inside of Jurgen Gray, with a beautiful and heavy truth I'm not allowed to say. A heavy truth I'm not allowed to say. Take a deep breath, but it's static in the cold, walking out a perfectly and solidly paved road. It's an isolating sadness when the spirit tries to speak. Yet the metropolis deletes the very translation you seek. Yeah. Let the words that wash you away, just a weeping bamboo flute now, just a slow fading away. Yeah. They pipe it through a million miles of iron just to make sure it's perfectly clear. But they filtered out so much of the earth, it doesn't even feel like it quenches your thirst anymore. Watching the water pour out of the freezing chrome, trying to swallow it dry. That reminds me of home. I remember the clay of the jar on the wooden floor, catching the heavy monsoon by the open door. They tasted the mud and the roots of the towering tree, carried the life of the valley directly to me. Now I'm drinking the liquid that's perfectly sterile and dead, with the hum of the purifier humming right in my head. It washes the throat, but it leaves all the spirits so dry, looking for rain in the heavily chemical sky. Let the deep bass rattle, let the metal just weep. I'm drinking the water, but dying of thirst in my sleep. The city removes all the beautiful dirt from the floor, leaving a ghost of the river I used to know. Yeah, leaving a ghost of the river I used to know. Yeah, leaving a ghost of the river I used to know. Yeah, yeah. They pipe it through a million miles of iron just to make sure it's perfectly clear. But they filter out so much of the earth, it doesn't even feel like it quenches your thirst anymore. Yeah, watching the water pour out of the closest plane. She grabs a woven chocolate crammer and presses it into her wet skin. She imagines the water is the warm, heavy silt of the flood of baddies, desperately wanting to smell the wet soil. But she only smells traces of chlorine and fluorine, pressing the cotton right into the skin of my face, standing alone in the perfectly sanitized space. They poison the river to make sure the city is green, erasing the beautiful chaos of the heavy green. And I miss the way that the current will pull at the knee. I miss the turbulent water that made us all free. Ain't no need for crying tears, or just water to waste, adding a little bit of salt to the chemical taste. Let the deep sub bass carry all the truth afar, just a dehydrated water making a story that never is actually told. It's an isolating sadness when the weather's perfectly deep, but there isn't a single drop that the memory can keep. They let the still drops wash away. Stay at cool water drop now. It's the stove, heavy drum, completely dried out, just fading away. Pipe it through 1,000,000 miles of iron, just to make sure it's perfectly clear. They pipe it through 1,000,000 miles of iron.